Well, hello again. So today we're making pad see ew, and what we've got here is basically some assortment of various Thai rice noodles. You need the thick ones for these. So normally you'd use fresh ones in Thailand, but you know we've got these dried ones. These ones are 10 mil. It's about all right, and these are just like flakes, and they're quite thick, so you know they work nice with pad see ew. But the only issue with these ones is they like to sort of curl up, so you need to be careful of that. Anyway, to start off with, the way I do this is they say you should boil this sometimes. I don't like boiling it because I like to have a bit of precision. So what I just do is get some hot water and put the dry noodles directly in it without making them go everywhere, of course. Some of those, and then we'll take some of these flakes and put them in there as well. Don't really need to measure it, you know, it's just whatever you feel comfortable with. That's a pretty big portion, to be fair. Okay, so we're going to let that soak for, let's say, half an hour or so until the water is cooled down, and then we'll, in the meantime, we'll prepare the meat. Okay, so meat. So we're just going to use some pork again, as you know, always. You know, slice it really nice and thin. So next we want to basically marinate the pork a bit. So, I mean, it doesn't really need to be a lot. I usually don't really measure this, you know, it's probably like a tablespoon or so of oyster sauce. You know, you can put various things in it, a bit of soy sauce, obviously. Probably about a tablespoon as well. This is like seasoning sauce, a bit stronger, put a bit of that. Bit of white pepper, I guess. Most of this stuff is kind of semi-optional, but it, you know, it gives a little extra taste. A bit of sugar. This is like palm sugar, but it's been dried out, so probably like just a bit. A little bit of baking soda to tenderize it a bit. You really don't want to put a lot. Just like literally, it's probably even too much for like that amount. Maybe like that. Bit of tapioca flour, make it a little bit crispy. I'm not going to take that out of the bag, otherwise it's going to go all over the place. And then we just want to sort of just mix this up. Some people say put water in it. I don't find that's necessary. Some people say put an egg in it. I don't find that's necessary either. So you know, just mix it about. Just get it in there. Obviously, this step is kind of optional, but since we're waiting for the noodles anyway, you know, may as well mix it about. Then just put it to one side, and so we're just going to wait for the noodles and then continue. Yeah, so while we're waiting, may as well have a little talk about these condiments. So in Thailand, they don't tend to put just like salt and pepper on the table. You have these little sort of condiment sort of glasses, I guess, to come like this, and this is sugar. This is just like chili powder, really spicy. Here we've got the fish sauce and chili that we made yesterday with a bit of lime. And then what we need for this one, there's a new one. So what we're going to do basically is take some vinegar and raw chili and stick it in there together. So that's another one of the condiments. Right, so then we'll just take some of this vinegar that we got. Fill it up like that. Give it a good stir. Now the condiments are ready to go. So firstly, a little bit about the various sauces we're using here today, and just spices and stuff in general. So this is thin soy sauce. This brand is okay, you know, the well-known brands in this, but pretty good thin soy sauce. Oyster sauce, absolute staple. This is dark sweet soy sauce. You can use just the black soy sauce as well. It won't be as sweet. I would recommend that you check on the label how much sugar is actually in it, and you're going to have to kind of sort of see, depending on the sugar content, how much of this you want to really use. This one is sweet, so we're probably going to use a bit less sugar. Fish sauce, not really required for this dish, but I like to put a bit in. And then, you know, your standard, you know, Golden Mountain soy sauce, which, you know, everyone knows, Thailand. This is a bit strong. It's not really the same as the thin soy sauce. You don't really want to use it instead, although if you don't have any, you can. But yeah. And I like to put a bit of sesame oil, sesame seed oil, especially on the marinade. Just gives it that sort of extra flavor. So yeah, that's that. Standard white pepper and good old MSG, of course. That's about it. So, let me go check on the noodles. So I find that when the water is cold, well, not cold, but sort of, you know, not hot anymore, that usually the noodles are sort of at a point where they're sort of al dente, if you know what I mean. And when you cook them, they're going to get a lot softer, but obviously they're going to need some water in order for that to happen. What I like to do is dry them out completely using paper towels, because we want to put soy sauce, basically, black soy sauce on them. And if you put it when they're still wet, then you'll lose all the soy sauce in the water. So, paper towels. I like to put a little bit of oil in it. If you're feeling adventurous, you can put a bit of sesame oil as well. Although I would caution that you really don't want to put a lot of sesame oil, just a little tiny bit. It's very strong. Okay, so before we go putting any black soy sauce in this, we really just want to squeeze some of the water out. See how wet they are. So you really don't want to ruin the noodles by squishing too hard though, so basically just try and get most of the liquid out. Not all of it, but most of it. Right, so then what we want to do is, it's kind of up to you how much you put. This gives it a bit of taste, it gives it a bit of colour. and it also soaks into the noodles themselves. So you could put like, I don't know, a tablespoon or so of black soy sauce. Just put it all around. Make sure you're not breaking up the noodles too much. You can put a little bit more of that. Right, and then we'll just put that to one side, let it just sort of marinate a bit. And yeah, so in the meantime, we're going to do a trick and cook the pork separately. Right, so let's get going with the pork. Don't want to put a lot of oil, just a bit. Because the burner is sort of doing well, I'm just going to stick it right in. I'm going to put a bit of sesame oil in that as well. Okay, so let's continue. What we're going to do is heat the wok up nice, hot, and a bit of oil. Okay, so basically just sort of fry the noodles a bit to get them sort of nice and a bit charred. Inside. Now we want to turn the heat right down because we're going to be putting the garlic. you really don't want to turn the heat up too high for that. But it's getting nice and golden. So what we want to do is next throw the eggs. A bit more oil. More heat. I'm actually going to taste it because there was a little bit of black in the garlic and nah, it's alright. Right, so in goes the pork. Broccoli, kale. And you really want to stir fry this properly before the noodles go in. You want to make sure that the broccoli kale doesn't need to cook independently. So basically, what we really want to do is see that the food is sort of, before we put the noodles, everything is sort of as it should be, and then we put the noodles, season, and we sort of finish it off. Right. Alright, in goes the sugar, and then the noodles. Now, at this stage, you really don't want to break the noodles up. So, because I don't really know about the sauce, I'm going to turn that right down. It's a bit too much heat. Nice problem to have, I guess. So, going to go in with black soy sauce, just a bit, bunch of oyster sauce, probably like two tablespoons or something, some thin soy sauce, and this part needs to happen quite quickly because the noodles are going to get all mushy and we don't want that. MSG, of course, maybe like teaspoon, tablespoon, whatever. Bit of pepper, white pepper. And that's it. the most important bit, a bit of plating. So the reason I'm doing this is because Thai stir fries, because of the condiments, the kind of idea is that everyone has their own spice level and preferences and, you know, what they like and don't like. So you don't actually finish completely seasoning the stir fry. You just put like enough on it. Look at that, it looks quite nice. And then so effectively the condiments which go with pad see ew is chili and vinegar, of course. I like quite a few chilies. And then you don't want to like just put loads and loads of vinegar, so usually good idea to put just a bit of dry chili. And then you can put a bit of sugar, I don't think it's necessary. And then just a tiny bit of white pepper. And there you go, pad see ew.